What is up, ladies and genitals? Four Eyes in here, coming at you, coming through with the updated tier list on the best submachine guns in Black Ops Cold War Season 5. We recently got one brand new submachine gun, giving us a total of 10. This is the biggest class in Black Ops Cold War. I will be ranking them from worst to best. In the end of this video, I will also be giving you guys how I would rank them up close, so stick around and take some notes. Starting off the list, in our number 10 spot is the PPSH-41. This OG submachine gun returns from COD World War II and Call of Duty World at War, where it was one of the top SMGs in the game. However, here in Cold War, it is a completely different story. It shares the same fire rate as the FFAR-1 and MG82. Compared to all of the submachine guns in the game, the PPSH has the slowest time to kill and is beaten out by a good number of the assault rifles up close, like the AK-47, Groza, Farah, FFAR-1, and even the C58. The weapon doesn't even have anything to redeem itself, like a high bullet velocity or a low recoil. Overall, the PPSH is just not that great of a SMG. If you want to use it for nostalgic purposes, definitely go right on ahead, but in terms of it being a competitive top meta SMG, the PPSH is just not it. Moving on to our number 9 spot, I have the Milano. It did receive a large number of buffs in previous seasons, improving the weapon little by little. However, the Milano is still nowhere near the top submachine guns. Even though the Milano has a slow time to kill up close, it does have low recoil, the smallest hipfire spread, fastest spreading movement speed, and the fastest aim down sight speed. When using it in game, it feels like a great gun, but statistically it's one of the worst. While being one of the worst statistical guns in the class, it's arguably one of the funnest guns to use. The gun reminds me a lot of the Krig 6 in the assault rifle class, where statistically the weapon isn't that great, but its low recoil and ease of use make it easy to maximize the gun's potential. In our number 8 spot is the Bullfrog. It has the highest magazine size in the submachine gun class with 50 as its base and 85 when you equip the highest available magazine attachment. The Bullfrog also has the longest effective damage range in the category at 20 meters. The major problem that holds back the Bullfrog is it has the second slowest time to kill out of all the SMGs. I guess another knock could be it has a low bullet velocity compared to the top submachine guns. However, that large magazine size turns the Bullfrog into a mobile light machine gun, making it one of the most enjoyable weapons to use. The gun also has low recoil mixed in with that long effective damage range, and the Bullfrog does surprisingly well. Moving on to our number 7 spot is the submachine gun released in Season 4, which is the OTS-9. This submachine gun shares the identical time to kill with the MP5, however it has a longer effective damage range and a slightly higher bullet velocity. But the one thing that really hurts the OTS-9 is its extremely small magazine size. In its base form, it only has 20 bullets, and when you equip the magazine attachment with the most bullets, it can only go up to 40. That is its biggest weakness of the Caparis, and it's actually quite noticeable. When you are running into multiple people or you're just missing shots, this gun can be so unforgiving. But the fast time to kill up close, mixed in with the long effective damage range and low recoil, makes this an underrated submachine gun. The gun also has clean iron sights. If you can get over the fact that this gun has a small magazine, you will see how good the OTS-9 truly is. Next, in the 6th spot, it should be no surprise it is the MP5. Honestly, you can interchange the MP5 and OTS-9 since they are pretty much identical. The reason why I give the edge to the MP5 is because it feels more like a complete weapon. It still has that quick and solid time to kill up close without any drawbacks like a small magazine. Nothing has really changed with the MP5 ever since its nerf during the release of the game. It used to be able to compete with the top submachine guns in the game. However, new releases and weapon tuning has skyrocketed its competition. Overall, the MP5 is a solid weapon and should not be overlooked. If you are getting destroyed or you are destroying people with this gun, don't be surprised, it's a really good weapon. The top submachine guns just have better stats, pushing them over the MP5. Moving on to our number 5 spot is the MAC-10. The MAC-10 has the fastest rate of fire in the submachine gun class, which is over 1000. It's the only gun with a fire rate that high, giving it the highest fire rate in the entire game. Its two major weaknesses is it has a lot of recoil compared to the other SMGs on this list, and its bullet velocity is on the lower end. Even though it has a good amount of recoil, it is mostly vertical, but one of the weapon tuning patches added a bit more horizontal recoil, so I do recommend attachments to mitigate this. The MAC-10 has an extremely competitive time to kill up close, and in the minimum effective damage ranges, it actually has the fastest time to kill out of all the submachine guns because of its fire rate. The gun is a high skill, high reward weapon, so it takes a lot of the player's focus when controlling recoil. In my opinion, the MAC-10 is the hardest SMG to use and to get the most out of. If you can master and control the gun's insane recoil, you will reap the benefits of this mini beast. In our number 4 spot is the KSP. For the longest time, this was the only burst submachine gun and was by far the best submachine gun for close quarters use. If you land all 3 bullets of the burst up close, it is pretty much an insta kill. Your enemies can shoot you first and you could still end up winning the gunfight. Surprisingly enough, this gun was always very good, but weapon tuning patches actually made this weapon better. And then in season 5, they increased the gun's burst delay by a little bit to balance the gun a little better. But the KSP, even after the nerfs, is still very good. And if most of your gunfights are up close where you should be using an SMG, then this is arguably the best submachine gun in the game for that purpose. It used to be the clear-cut winner, but a certain submachine gun gives the KSP a good run for its money for the crown of the close quarter king. Breaking into our number 3 spot, I have the AK-74U. The gun used to be first if it didn't get nerfed. What happened was the AK-74U used to have the highest bullet velocity value of 500 in the SMG class, and it went down to 383, which is the second highest in the category. They also tweaked the recoil to add some more horizontal recoil. These nerfs were very noticeable, but the gun is still amazing. It has the second fastest time to kill up close out of all the fully auto submachine guns. The effective damage range of this extremely fast time to kill is only up to 7 meters, so it's not really too far of a distance. And because of its high bullet velocity, it's one of the best SMGs to beam people across the map. Every time I play League Play, I am surprised on how far I have been beamed by an enemy 74U. I always think like, wow, I just got cross-mapped by a submachine gun. Falling short in our number 2 spot is none other than the LC-10. As an overall submachine gun, I think it's the best. It has the highest bullet velocity in the class at 410 meters. Combine that with arguably the lowest recoil in the class, and you have a pocket assault rifle that can strafe. This thing is an absolute monster, so much so that this gun is restricted in League Play. It's no longer available to use. Up close, the time to kill is middle of the pack. It kills faster than the PPSH, Bullfrog, and Milano, and is just behind the OTS-9 and MP5. The time to kill is actually identical to the Farah 83 in both its maximum and minimum effective damage range. Just because it doesn't have the fastest time to kill up close, do not overlook the LC-10's potential to absolutely laser enemies from across the map like an assault rifle. There is no better submachine gun for medium to long range engagements. It would have been first on the list if the number 1 gun just wasn't so dang overpowered, which is none other than the Tech-9. It is a monster of a submachine gun. In its base form, it's a semi-auto, but it can be changed to be a burst SMG or a fully auto. In its burst form, it can match the KSP, however it really shines when you equip the fully auto repeater attachment. Its time to kill is only a few milliseconds off its burst mode. The time to kill is almost twice as fast as the PPSH-41. That's the reason why I placed it in the number 1 spot, is because of its blistering fast time to kill and insanely low recoil. The only 2 weaknesses I see with the Tech-9 is its bullet velocity isn't as high as the 74U and LC-10, and it can't equip a suppressor, which isn't really that big of a deal because of how fast it kills. Honestly, the only submachine guns that I could see myself using over the Tech-9 is the LC-10, 74U, and KSP. All the other SMGs are pretty much useless since the Tech-9 can do their jobs better in almost every single way. That is why it's deserving of the number 1 spot. Up close, this is what the tier list looks like from the fastest to slowest time to kills. In first, which is no surprise, is the Tech-9. I place it above the KSP because the Tech-9 can match it in burst mode and in fully auto. It's not too far off up close, but it has a huge advantage in medium to long range due to that consistent firing mode. Second, we have the KSP. Third, AK-74U. Fourth, we have the MAC-10. Fifth and sixth have the same time to kill, but the OTS-9 has a longer effective damage range, so it kills faster at a longer distance. That is why I place it above the MP5. Seventh, we have the LC-10. 8th Milano, 9th Bullfrog, and finally in 10th is the PPSH 41. That is how I would rank the 10 SMGs so far. Treyarch had the SMGs balanced fairly well until they added the Tech 9, which completely blows everything out of the water. If you enjoyed the video and found it useful, leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Namaste my friends, and I will talk to you all next time.